Ashley with Paint It Up, and we're gonna do one of this month's designs available to Art Girls, who is this cute little Uncle Sam right here. It is the 250th anniversary of the United States. So we're gonna do a cute little Uncle Sam that I drew out. So I'm excited to paint him. Thanks for watching the replay. Say hello when you hop on. And I am excited to paint him. I love a good Uncle Sam, you know, and I was leaning toward doing some like, you know, flamingos and stuff for my porch, but I'm thinking I'm just gonna go back to the red, white, and blue, my old standby, because he's gonna be really cute and I think he'll look really good. So I'm excited to paint him. So if you'll do me a favor, if you'll share this video with your friends, that would mean a lot. Sprinkle it out to all your friends. And I'm gonna start by painting the white on him, because I feel like that'll be the easiest way. So we're gonna do his white stripes on his hat. We'll come back and do the red. I was looking this morning and pulling out like buntings and all that, because you know what? I think I'm just gonna go straight to 4th of July for the summer. That's low maintenance because I can keep that up for like Memorial Day and all the things. I haven't decided yet, but that's kind of what I'm leaning toward. So we gotta get ready for I love red, white, blue for the summer. It's just so good. So all right, so we are going to throw us on some white here. And I'll come back and paint that section red. The red, white, and the blue might clash with my pink door, but it's okay, we're going with it. Going with it. Okay. And then the stars are going to be white, so we're going to paint those in too. And I'll be able to see my lines because I'm going to do that like a navy blue color. I'm just kind of getting a coat of paint on there. And then his hair, we're gonna do his hair. I normally will leave like their skin, like the wood color, just for more of like a rustic look. I haven't decided if I'm gonna do that, so I'm gonna be careful right here. I'm actually gonna go back and do his hair with a little bit of gray in it, but I can't decide if I want to do an actual skin color or just leave like the wood. I usually leave the wood just because I like that. So I just like the way it looks because it's a good like skin tone color with this birch. Of course you can always paint it, but and I chose to cut out his nose and his mustache so that they'll be like dimensional. I just thought it would be cute. So we're gonna do that for his. And this was the one out of my 4 for this month's drop. And I always release new ones because I'm working on building up my library, but these are the 4 that they're gonna get on May 1st. And I always drop my new ones to them first, and then to everybody else that you can purchase one-offs, or you can be in the group and get them all. It's always good. Okay, and then his little chin beard here. Originally I had his chin beard as a cutout, but it looked weird, so I decided not to do that. I decided to leave it off. Yesterday I struggled with the migraine, and honestly today I still don't feel great, but we're pushing through. We are pushing through. We are just gonna push through the pain. I wouldn't say the pain today, but the annoyance today. We're gonna push through it. Because the day after, I always feel like yucky the day after. We'll do his little eyebrow. And I mean, I like the idea of like the white just because it's a good contrast, like from a distance, like if it's on your door or whatever, but I'm still might go in and add a little gray in there. Hope you're having a good Wednesday. We've been having like storms and rain. Yesterday we had a lot of thunderstorms. Today it's been kind of quiet, but it's really humid outside. So, all right. I do need to paint these white, so let's just go ahead and put a coat of white paint on those so they can be drying. Love a good Unky Sam. Unky Sam. Okay. All right. Okay. So now I want to mix up some red. I don't want it to be like bright red. I want it to be more of like a rustic sort of looking red. So I always like to add a little bit of brown to it. Not a whole lot of brown, just a little bit. Just to kind of darken it up a little bit. And also this makes it cover a little bit better too, because sometimes that red just doesn't like to cover very well. So I just squirt a little brown in there. I don't want it to be burgundy, so I just want it to be like a really pretty red. I might need just a little bit more red in there. Okay, got a little burgundy-ish. It's okay. We'll just add a little bit more red to it. Okay, so we're gonna paint. That kind of looks a little burgundy-ish, but we're gonna roll with it because I think I like that as far as like to match my door. Like I might actually go back and put a little bit of lighter color over the top of it, but I might have put a little too much brown in there. That kind of looks like a barn red. Let's add a little bit more red to the mix. Let's do this. Let's pour this out like that. Yeah, there we go. There we go, Ash. You got it. Sometimes it's just a, you know, trial and error. All right. I do think I might end up going back and doing like his skin. I don't know. I keep going back and forth, but I just love like leaving it like the wood color. I just always do that with like my nutcrackers and like my faces, scarecrows, all the things. One, because it's especially if you're painting for like profit, it's a time saver. But also if you just, you know, want to be able to paint it very quickly, you don't have to worry about painting the skin tone in. And skin tone can be funny because sometimes you can get it too orange. Sometimes you can get it too pink. They usually have some good like flesh tone colors, you know, in a bottle that you can use. But I always kind of have to like, fun fact, you can make a flesh tone with a lot of white, a dab of red, and a little bit of yellow. And that will make flesh. And I'm just gonna go down into this because that's gonna be painted with the navy. or the blue. I'll probably do more of like a navy color. Maybe lighten the navy just a smidge. He's looking cute. He's looking very, very cute. I do not want to get paint on my shirt today. I probably should have put an apron on. Do I ever wear an apron? No. Why? Because I'm crazy. That's why. That would be the smart thing for me to do, but I never do it. Okay. All right. So let's do this little part of his mouth right here. I think I'm gonna do that red too. Maybe. Yeah, why not? Maybe add a little bit of white to it to lighten it up just a little bit. And of course these are gonna be like, you're not gonna see that because it's gonna have things put over the top of it. So I'm just gonna do a really quick, like painting that in for his mouth. And I'm gonna use a little bit of black to just make it a little bit darker up at the top, to kind of give it like that look of like a shadow. So I'm going to come in with a little bit of black underneath the nose and just sort of work it down into that pink. And it looks funny right now, but it's gonna, it'll make sense once I put the what you call it on there. Okay. Then I want to paint his eyes. And I'm going to come back and do the highlight in his eyes after the fact. I'm just going to paint this in first. And then I'll use my white to do that. And I'll do the little lines underneath his eyes with okay. All right. Let's take the, I want to do like a little bit of like pink on his cheeks. So I'm going to take this, and I'm going to use like a really like dry brush and kind of give him like a little cheek right here. And I can use like this flesh color that I have. I have like a little bit of a flesh color over here that I can actually use to sort of tone it down a little bit so it doesn't look so so pink. But I think it needs to be pretty pink because I want his cheeks to show up. So I'm just going to use that as sort of to blend it a little bit because the white can come out being a little bit too stark. So this flesh color kind of works with that wood that's already behind it. Just gives him some cute little cheeks. Some really cute little cheeks. Makes him have a bubbly little face. Because he's excited. He's celebrating 250 years of being alive. I don't know, maybe Uncle Sam isn't that old, but I'm guessing he's pretty old. Let's see, where is my navy blue? Wouldn't you guess? It's in my car, in my bag, in my car. I know I got some over here though. So I'm gonna grab some right quick. I'm actually kind of leaning toward going a little bit more like a lighter navy. This might actually be light enough. It kind of has like a purpley tint to it that I'm not real fond of. You know what? We're gonna play around a minute and see what we come up with. I'm gonna put a little. This might be what I'm going for here. Maybe. Oh no, it could be a little bit darker. Let's try putting a little brown in that. Sometimes the black can make it just too dark, so I'm going to use a little brown. I'm liking this. It's kind of a different shade of blue, but I like it. I'm going to trace around all of my little hearts right quick because I need to like outline them first. So cute. Try not to do like the traditional like blue. Sort of match my porch a little bit. Because I would like to use this on my porch. Potentially. And I have some rugs on there. They might be a little bit darker than this, which, you know, I've learned that everything doesn't have to match exactly. So as long as it coordinates, that's all that matters. Okay. Okay. So let's go around this star, and we'll do some outlining around it too, but just want to get it color blocked in and painted in with everything. And then we can go back and add all the details. And of course, it's probably going to require 2 coats, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there. My paint was still a little wet, so I'm kind of wiping off some of the excess so it doesn't mix too much. Okay, let's do this little sections down here at the bottom. I feel like this brush might be just a little too small, but it's fine. It is fine. It's fine. Or this brush might be too big for these sections, I should say. Oh darn, I got a little bit in there. It's fine. Smooth that out. Got a little red in there, but we're gonna smooth that out. And we'll touch it up when we do a second coat, because it's definitely going to need a second coat. Okay, so while we're waiting on that, let's go in and let me decide. Do I want to do, am I wanting to do a, skin color on him, because I need to make that decision now if I'm going to do it. I think I do need to do it, even though I'd rather not even gonna lie. I would rather not do it. I'm going to do it because I feel like it'll look better. I do feel like it will look better. So we're gonna do some skin color on him. And I have some already pre-mixed, where I mix some up. This might be a little orange. I don't know. I think it might be okay. I just don't want him to look like he's like super tan, you know? So I'm just gonna go in and paint. I just kind of feel like maybe it needs it. And I'm gonna glue those over the top of it so I can literally just throw this paint on there and not really worry too much about, I've learned to just kind of paint messy and then go back and clean my lines up. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I think he looks better with skin tone. I know it's hard for you to kind of see, but in person it does look better. It's kind of hard to tell on camera, but I think it does like make him look better to have that that paint on there. And you know, then we're gonna go work on his hair after we paint this. And I might have to like touch up, I know I'm gonna have to touch up his eyebrows and stuff. And it actually probably is not a bad idea that I painted the, I ended up painting the eyes and stuff, but, because they're gonna need a second coat anyway, but anyway. I just couldn't decide. Normally I would not, if I would paint the whole cheeks and all that stuff and then paint like the black and the white, but sometimes you make those thoughts and those decisions after the fact and then you go, yeah. And this was one of those times. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna go over that white from the, on the eyebrow, because I'm gonna paint it in anyway, again. So I'm not stressing over it. I'll just paint white back over the top of it. And these places where like I have a little bit of like pink or red mixing in from the hat, I'm kind of using that as much advantage to kind of make him look like he's got some shading on his face. So I can use that to give him some shading on his face. And you can do that with, I could do that with brown too. Like I could go in and add a little bit of shading on there with some brown if I wanted to do that. And then I can use this to go in and sort of fix his cheeks a little bit. Make them come alive a little bit better. Let's add a little bit more of that pink on there. Just want to blend it out some. I think that looks cute. Okay. All right, so we've got his face painted in. Let's go in and give him some like gray on his hair. Now I've got some black here, so I'm just gonna use that and mix it in with the white. just to create like a little light gray color. I don't want it to be real dark. And I'm just gonna go around and sort of create, like where I have these little scallops on the side of his hair, I'm just gonna trace around those to kind of give him like some little and then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use the white to blend it. Okay, so I'm just adding that gray in there, and then I'm going to use the white to soften it and blend it out just a little bit, so I get more of a nice streaky gray than these lines in there, which I don't want. I don't want just lines in there. I want it just to be blended out. So I'll just keep going back over that and blending it till I get the look that I want. The biggest thing is just not to let it get dry, because then it's not gonna move. So you just do a little thick brush stroke and then keep moving it around and do it pretty quick so it doesn't dry. Okay. I feel like that side's a little bit darker than the other side. So I'm going to come back and add a little bit more gray to it. Okay. Do the same thing for his little chin beard here. Go in and get a little white, and then just smear it till I get it the color that I want. It's not anything drastic, but it's just to add some shading in there. Make him look a little bit more like gray-headed than. Now I do want to take this and paint his nose the same skin color, but I'm actually going to add like a little bit of pink on his nose too, just to give him like a little rosy nose. So while that's wet, I'm going to mix in just a little bit of this pink on there. Might actually have to pick up just a smidge of this red. And I'm going to blend it in to give him some shading on his nose. So he's got a little pink on there. Hey Debbie. Hey LaDonna. Sorry, I'm just now missing you if you've already left. Alright, so then we need to also do the same thing with the gray on his mustache, but I want to keep it like, I want the strokes to sort of follow like the shape of his stash. So I want them to go like that. Okay. Well, I'm just throwing paint. Just throwing it. Gotta have that. Now this is a little dark, but I'm just gonna work with it, and it will lighten up a little bit. But I'm wanting to sort of follow that same like brush stroke of going around on his stash. So let's throw that on there and just see what it looks like. Yes, so cute. All right, so now I'm gonna do the same thing over here. I'm gonna paint that in. Okay. Isn't that cute? Love it. Needs to be a little bit darker. Hey, thank you so much. Appreciate you more than you know. Okay, so that is his little bird, his little beard. little mustache, whatever. All right, so that's got a little bit of gray in it to match the rest of him. Let's throw that on there. Stop. He's looking adorbs. I mean, absolutely adorable. I'm going to come back in here and just sort of add some streaks in there. You know, just kind of playing around. Oh yeah, liking it a lot, liking it a lot. All right, now I'm gonna flip him back over. Actually, you know what, his mustache is really gray compared to his beard, but I kind of like it. I kind of like that it's a little bit different. So I'm gonna flip it around, and I'm going to do a little second coat here to darken this up a little bit. Take some of those streaks out. I need to do his eyebrows back too, but I was trying to wait and make sure that his face is good and dry. And I'm actually gonna like leave it kind of, I don't want to leave it real streaky, but I kind of like a little bit of streaking in there. Gives it a little bit of depth, and you know, I don't want it to be like super flat. I like some texture, little texture to it. So I'm gonna take like a little bit of this black and kind of go around like in here on the I like that. Digging it. Let's paint in his eyebrow right quick. Of course, you can always use paint pens for this, but I am going to come in and add a little bit of gray to his eyebrows too. I'll let that dry for a second, then I'll come in and do that. Gotta have some bushy brows. He's so cute. Okay, now I want to go back and just sort of streak in a little bit more paint on the red. And I think that I want to go in with like a little bit of this white and the red. And I'm just going to use, I don't want it to be like pinky pink, but I do want to add like this little rim right here. I want to kind of lighten that up and just add a little bit of shading on that. And then also add like a little bit here on the sides of his hat right there. Cute, 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 cute. It doesn't show up. It's not super bright, but I do want to give just a little bit of like shading to him on the hat. Probably could go a little bit lighter. That might be too bright. You know, you just kind of have to keep playing with it till you get what you like. I used to be scared of like doing my shading really like bold to be able to be seen, but then when you are looking at it from a distance, you want it to show up. So you have to keep that in mind. The further you get back from it, you lose that shading. So I just always try to remember that when I'm doing something. The further away you get from it, the less you can see it. So there's like, I'm just adding in some little bit here and there. Oh, I lost the beard. I'm gonna glue this on a little bit later. But All right, so let's take this gray that we had for the beard and let's go in. Got a little white in his hair, but that's okay because, you know, I mean, a little red in his eyebrows, but that's okay because we're gonna fix it. We're just having fun. No stress. Okay. Well, he's cute. He sure is. Sure is adorable. And I'm gonna do a little white highlight on his nose because he needs that. And we gotta add a highlight in his eyes, and we gotta add, we need to glue him down and all the things. But I wanna come back with like a little bit of white in this blue and just sort of streak up this white a little bit with some white, just to sort of help match what I did with the other. This is just having fun, you know, kind of tracing around my stars a little bit. Okay, so let's now do some finishing details on him, but we do need to dry him first because, hey Robin, thank you. Okay, so let's take this. I'm kind of looking at it now and seeing where I need to like soften it just a little bit. Okay. All right, so let's glue these down right quick with just some wood glue. Right quick. Oh, shucks. Got paint on there. Got it on there. Okay. All right, put a little bit of glue there. Don't need a lot. Just a smidge. Just to hold it on. These are still a little wet, so we're gonna dry them. Oops, go up a little bit. There we go. Cutest little Sam ever. You're adorable, Uncle Sam. You are adorable. Okay. Let me see. Let me fix that. And then let me dry this right quick, and then we can work on doing the outlines on him and like finishing him off, okay? So let me dry him. Okay, so I'm gonna take this Posca. Let me put the lid back on that. I'm gonna take a black Posca pen, and it's just a bullet point. And I'm gonna do the little line underneath his eyes. And I'm also gonna touch up like his eye here because I got a little paint in there. So I just wanna touch it up real quick. Okay, and then next I want to, what's going on with this thing? There we go. All right. So let's outline his face. And let's outline his little chin beard. And his hair. All right, then we're gonna do the line across the top of his hat right here. And we're gonna come around and do that. What else I need to do is little eyebrows, and I'm gonna kind of give them like a little like bushy sort of look. I just think that looks cute. And I'm gonna do his mustache. I just don't want it to be like really thick or the lines to be too bold on them. So there we go. And I feel like he needs like a line around his nose, but I don't want it to be too dark. So I'm gonna do like a really thin, just kind of putting like my brush on the edge of the thing, and like using or the pen, just using like the edge of it. Okay, and then I'm gonna flip around and I'm gonna do an outline for these guys. Got outside the lines a little bit, but it's fine. That never happens. I just go with it, and I don't stress over it. I got enough to stress over, you know? Without having to stress over, did my lines go perfect? Because they're not gonna be perfect, ever. Just kind of adds to the character. Okay. So let's add a highlight in his eyes with white. Okay. I'm actually going to add a little line going down too, because I think that makes him fun and cute. Okay. And so there he is. Stop it. Why is he so cute? I can't even handle him. He's adorable. I mean, simply adorable. And actually what I think I'm gonna do also, because I really like that Americana like vibe, you know, oh, my hip just popped. I'm gonna use like a little bit of brown on this paper, on this tray right here. That's way too much brown, but I don't need that much. I'm always wasting paint. And I'm gonna come in and add like a little bit of like brown distressing on him in a few places, even like on the white and stuff, and even in the brown. Oh, let's give him some little ear things, like some little, you know, like make him like look he's got some little ears. You know what I mean? Little holes in his ears. That's what I meant. But I'm gonna just pop in like a little bit of, this is almost like a really dry brush, but I just want to give him like a little bit of distressing. Not a lot. Listen, distressing, I think it makes everything look better sometimes, so I like to do it every once in a while. Okay. All right. Okay, little Mr. Uncle Sam, you look really cute with some red, white, and blue ribbon on him. He's gonna be cute for the front door. Super duper cute. So, hey Missy, thank you. All right, well, I'm gonna hop off of here, and yeah, I'll share my webpage later. Thanks to my art girls for picking him and allowing me to paint him live. So, yeah. If you're interested in learning more about art girls, type artgirl26 and I can send you all the information. So I hope you have a good day, friend, and I'll see you next time.